Hey everybody, Brother Goodwin here, and Dr. Charles Hiltibidal sitting here with me. Doc, this is December. These are exciting days. Christmas is coming
right around the corner.
And
It's cold enough today to be Christmas.
Well, let me just say a couple words about the new book. We're not going to do a show on it right now. We may in the future, but the Daniel Study Guide is sitting here on the desk. This is actually a proof copy. For those of you watching via YouTube, she's got a picture up now, I guess, but 158 pages, Doc. That may change a little. We've got to still do some proofreading, but this is going to go to print in just a few days. And I like it. I like how it came out.
Yeah, it lays out nice and open.
Spiral bound, a normal size book, and it lays flat. I mean, it's great. It's nice. And big spiral, so the pages are easy to turn.
Yeah.
And some good stuff in here. I set this up where I gave there's a big introduction in there. I forget how many pages, quite a few pages that I gave for the introduction, just because the beginning of things is so important, Dog. You know that that's true. You've written books, and you gotta explain a lot of things before you get into something. And I gave the history. Yeah, there's 20 pages before you get to chapter 1. All introductory stuff. I shared how to understand your Bible, the literal, the figurative, and the prophetic. And of course, Daniel being a prophetic book, that becomes very important to be able to get the prophecy out of this stuff. I mean, the dreams. Nebuchadnezzar has a dream. He sees this statue. Well, it's all prophetic of future empires, and most of that's already happened.
He thought it was all about him, but
yeah. Well, he was that head of gold, and of course we have the picture on the front cover there that I really like. Shows the different metals of the statue, all the way down to the miry clay mixed into the feet there. Weakness shows up there. And that's what diversity does, Doc, because that's a diverse kingdom made up of all kinds of different cultures and beliefs. And
we're getting ready to start a series of teaching on it, so folks will be able to...
In fact, we've already done part 1. We've already done the introduction.
Right.
And this week we're going to have chapter 1, and then next week will be chapter 2 of Daniel. And let me say this also before we begin. The Revelation series we did 18 shows on the book of Revelation from chapter 1 all the way to chapter 22. And some of them we did 2 chapters, evidently, like chapter 2 and 3.
Yeah, we
together.
did 2 sessions on some of them.
Yeah. So there's 22 chapters, but only 18 videos. But we did it all.
Yeah.
Some of them we combined some chapters in there. And came out really good. And it fits on the flash drive. We couldn't believe it. And so we have those on the website. If anybody would like to get the whole series on the book of Revelation, just go to prophecyinthespotlight.com and you'll be able to get to that. Go to the bookstore or wherever it is. It's right there on the front page, I think. And you'll see the flash drive there. Just click on that and you stick that. It's a USB flash drive, plugs right into your computer. And you can watch at your leisure. You can watch them in order if you want or skip around. You can pause them, come back later. It's great. Yeah, if you don't like something Doc's saying, you can fast forward it to get back to me, or vice versa.
We know which side that's going to
be. But it come out good, Doc. We're going to do the same thing with the Daniel study.
I think it'll be very helpful to a lot of folks.
We're going to put the whole series of the Daniel sessions that we're going to do on TV. We're going to put them on a flash drive as well. In the future, we may be able to put them all on the same one. I don't know if there's room for, I think she said there's lots of room left.
It's amazing what technology has, the development of it.
And we purchased some little boxes to put the flash drive in, to ship them in, so it'll be nice. And they're going to be pretty reasonable to buy, and it'll be a donation to the ministry here. And the money will not go to Doc and I. It'll go to the ministry to help us stay on the air. And so the Daniel Study Guide, be looking for the TV show coming up, and we'll probably do something in one of the updates here on radio. We want to get you a little bit of the Daniel Study Guide as well, but we'll do that in the near future. But I had something else, Doc, that I wanted to talk about. I was in my office, and I was so excited that the Daniel study guide was finally done, and a lot of people have been waiting quite a while on this. And I got looking around, and I happened to pick up this book, and it's by some guy named Dr. Charles Hiltibidal. We did a show on this before, I think.
Long time ago.
But I got thinking how important this is, because as it was in the days of Noah, and you put Noah and Lot, because it's the same story basically,
Yes,
the same thought. We've got the two verses here that we'll share in just a minute here. The two passages that deal with this. As it was in the days of Noah. There's so much false teaching coming from that. People think, they actually think that the days of Noah is the days of fallen angels and Nephilim and UFOs. That's not what it says at all.
Well, here's the thing. They always use Matthew 24. Never do they ever go to the book of Luke.
Yeah.
Both of them are writing about the same teaching at the same time that they got it from the Lord. And so when you go to the book of Luke's account, he said, and also as it was in the days of Lot. So it's a fact of the conditions that surrounded those two stories, not just about as the days of Noah only, and then trying to attach it to something that's honestly made up.
I think, Doc, people actually think it's in there.
Because I know they think it's in there. I've had people tell me, yeah, well, it does. And I said, well, show it to me.
Yeah.
And then they look at it and they say,
it's not there.
It's not
says
there.
They were eating, they were drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage.
Yeah. They were living life just going on as, in the little booklet I talk about, they were just like today. They were living life just going on as if didn't matter what God had to say about it.
That I like that fits this. They were unaware.
Yes.
They were just making money, living, getting married, having children.
Yep.
But God in the end time was not.
And all of
thoughts.
what was being presented to them through Noah, because for 98 years while Noah's building the ark, he's preaching. Not only is he speaking verbally, but he's the testimony of the questions and everything. And so it wasn't that they were not informed. They just rejected it. And that's so the as the days of Noah and also as the days of Lot is not that there's some return of, there's never been a time when there wasn't fallen angelic activity. Yeah. There's always been.
Yeah.
And so it's not a return of anything. How can you return something that's never left?
Now let me go ahead and read Matthew 24, verse 37 through verse 39. Mm-hmm. But as the days of Noah were, see, here it is. Yeah. Here's the passage.
Yep.
And everyone thinks, as the days of Noah, there were fallen angels and Nephilim. And
they insert all of this.
That's not in here. They're making it up.
No, they make it up.
It says, so shall all, as the days of Noah were, so also shall be the coming of the Son of Man. Mm-hmm. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were fallen angels marrying human women. Mm-mm. It says no such thing.
Nope.
They were eating, drinking, marrying, giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered in the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Mm-hmm. See, it's totally opposite of what they're saying. Yeah. What this is saying is people were just living their normal lives, making money and fellowshipping and having parties, whatever, But God wasn't in their thoughts. No. That man building that ark, they had blotted that out of their mind. Yeah. They were just living like they had forever.
Yep.
Not realizing that any day now the door is going to shut and you're in the end time and your life's over. Yeah.
That's why the Lord uses these, not to draw their attention to anything like what's being said out there, but to the fact that this is how, as it was in the days of Noah, how they were living, unaware, unconcerned, unconvicted. It's the same way it's going to be in the time
and that's what the Lord's pointing out, right?
That's what he's
pointing
out.
Saying the end time that you and I are living in is going to be just like Noah's day. Not that there's Nephilim and fallen angels and UFO. No, people are going to be living like there's nothing happening.
Exactly.
And like we've got years to go. We don't have to worry. We got decades.
Well, we
to go.
have preachers that seem to think that because they never teach on any of this in their own churches, and their people are starving to death. No, you need to take 1 Thessalonians chapter number 5, and you need to put it with this, because there you'll understand the prepositions of they and them and ye and you, two complete different groups. And he said, you are not going to be taken unaware.
As a thief, right.
You're not going to be like the thief in the night, but they. And so in what Jesus is doing, because the question was asked, what are the signs of your coming? And he said, okay, like it was in the days of Noah. How were they living in the days of Noah? That's how they'll be living again in the days just prior to the second coming.
Unconcerned, unaware, feeling like
unconvicted.
There's no God. I've got forever to live. Everything's fine.
And everything they can do that is as opposite to what they know is right, that God has said, is what they're going to do. We're living exactly.
And I think that verse that comes to mind, he's coming when they think not.
Yes.
Same thing. These people were not thinking. They thought they had they had tomorrow and the next day and the next day.
And even many of us that are believers, we still catch ourselves too often living that way rather than living as if this is the last moment.
So the one in Luke says this. This is Luke chapter 17, verses 28 through 30. Likewise also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat. Same thing. They did eat. They drank. They bought. They sold. They planted. They builded. A little different than the other, but the same. They're just doing normal things. But their mind is not on the fact that, hey, what's that ark for over there?
Yeah.
Is there a storm coming? What's They didn't pay any attention to
Well,
that.
that's why, like on the front of the book, I've got a statement, and here's what you need to take from what Jesus was saying. As it was, so shall it be. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it also be that way in the coming of the Son of Man. And it's really not that complicated.
And then you go on, as it is, so it was.
Yep.
You got an arrow pointing each way. It's on the screen there. They
You
can see it.
look either backwards or forward.
As it was, so shall it be. As it is now, as it is, so it was.
Yep.
That's good.
But that's what he's not saying. You need to watch for a sign when you start seeing 100-foot tall giants again, or you start seeing black-eyed people walking all over the place. Folks, I'm telling you, I'm not underestimating the power of the devil to do what he can do with creation. But I'm telling you, there was never a time when a fallen angel ever produced an offspring, period, let alone with a human being who is of a different kind.
It is scientifically impossible.
It's
it
medically.
Is physically impossible, medically impossible, and biblically impossible.
And so all of this nonsense out here is tied with the fact they believe in a gap theory, which does not exist either. Maybe we'll cover that again one of these days.
The book is on the website, ProtestantSpotlight.com. It's just a little book. It's you don't have page numbers. It's probably 20 pages or something like that.
24, 28 pages,
just
something like that.
very easy to read right down there on the bottom shelf, which is unusual for Doc, down on the bottom shelf. He doesn't live down there with us normal people. And he's up on that top shelf. And no, good stuff. Very important topic, Doc, in these last days. All right, thanks for being with us today. We'll see you again next time. Until then, keep your eyes on them skies.